What's the biggest lie you told your family? I dropped out of college and pretended to still be a student for almost 2 years. When my family finally found out, my grandma was dying and all she wanted was to see me graduate. So I bombed my final second semester freshman year, like completely bombed them. Had this massive panic attack during my economics final and just walked out. Failed 3 classes. I felt like such a loser. My dad had taken out this loan to help with tuition, working double shifts at the warehouse just so I could go to state. My little brother Caleb kept telling everyone how proud he was that his big brother was in college. I couldn't face telling them I screwed up. So instead of going back, I just never re-enrolled. Used what was left of my student loan money to rent this tiny room above a pizza place downtown. Got a job at Murphy's Diner washing dishes and serving coffee. The lying part was actually pretty easy at first. I made fake class schedules on my laptop. Told my family I was taking Intro to Business and Statistics. When they asked about homework, I'd pull up random articles online and pretend I was writing papers about them. Every few weeks I'd drive to campus, take selfies by the library, and send them to our family group chat with captions like study break or finals week is killing me. When mom wanted to visit for parents weekend, I told her I had strep throat and didn't want her catching it. When dad asked about my grades, I said I was doing okay, but the professors were really tough. Caleb would brag to his friends that his brother was going to be the first one in our family to graduate college. The worst part was watching my dad. He'd come home from his warehouse job, exhausted, but he'd always ask how school was going. He started working Saturdays too. Said he wanted to make sure I didn't have to worry about money. He'd tell his coworkers about me studying economics, how I was going to get some fancy office job someday. Every time someone asked me about college, I had to create more lies. I memorized fake professor names, made up stories about group projects and campus events. I even researched what classes economics majors actually took so I could sound believable. By the second year, the guilt was eating me alive. Caleb was applying to colleges, writing essays about how I inspired him to pursue education. He'd ask me for advice about choosing classes, and I'd just make stuff up. Mom started planning this huge graduation party, calling our relatives to save the date. Then Grandma Rose got sick, cancer. She'd basically raised me and Caleb when Mom was working 2 jobs after the divorce. She was in and out of the hospital, but she kept talking about how excited she was to watch me walk across that stage. She'd never finished high school herself, dropped out to work when her dad died. Seeing me graduate was like her biggest dream. I knew I had to come clean before graduation, but I kept putting it off. Then the doctor said Grandma didn't have much time left, maybe a few weeks, and all she kept talking about was my graduation ceremony. I panicked, went online and bought a cap and gown, found some website where you could order fake diplomas, spent 3 days learning Photoshop so I could make it look real. The plan was to take some photos, show them to Grandma, then tell everyone the truth after she passed. But my family threw this massive surprise party the day I was supposed to graduate. Balloons everywhere, a huge cake with my name on it. Dad was crying actual tears during his toast, talking about pride and perseverance and how I never gave up. Caleb made a speech about how I was his hero. Mom invited like 30 people. Everyone kept asking to see my diploma. I showed them the fake one and they passed it around like it was some precious artifact. My uncle framed it right there on the spot. Dad shook my hand and said he'd never been prouder of anything in his whole life. That night I helped Grandma to her room. She was so weak, but she kept holding my hand, telling me how proud she was. I couldn't take it anymore. I broke down and told her everything. The dropping out, the job at the diner, the fake diploma, all of it. She just looked at me with these tired eyes and said, "You didn't fail at college, Mason. You failed at trusting us." She wasn't angry, just disappointed. Said she understood why I was scared, but that our family loved me no matter what. She died a week later. At the funeral, I couldn't handle everyone still talking about my college degree and my bright future. I stood up during the reception and told everyone the truth about dropping out, about the job at the diner, about the fake diploma that was probably still hanging in our living room. Dad didn't say a word, just stared at me for a long time, then walked outside.